Are looking live at the Metrodome in Minnesota where the Vikings take on the Philadelphia Eagles in a game that we hope will feature a field goal or two by Minnesota's 43-year-old kicking legend, Jan Stenerud. This is the last NFL game for Jan, who's retiring after 19 years in pro football. Also live, you're looking at Tampa Stadium, where it's the Buccaneers against the Green Bay Packers in a game that will be played in the kind of weather the Florida Chamber of Commerce loves to advertise at this time of year. That is a far cry from the blizzard conditions that greeted these two teams when they played in Green Bay earlier this month. Moving across the Gulf of Mexico, you are now looking at the Superdome in New Orleans, where the Saints clash with the Atlanta Falcons. The only prize at stake here is honor. The winner can claim it is the best team in the old Confederacy. Small consolation in a losing season that's gone with the wind. And finally, you are looking live at the Silverdome in Detroit, where the Lions, who have a habit of mistreating guests who come into their lair, play host to the Chicago Bears, who have a habit of mistreating everybody they meet, at home or on the road. Chicago, the team to beat in the upcoming playoffs, has the most intimidating defense we've seen since the Steel Curtain led Pittsburgh to 4 Super Bowl championships.
This time of the year is tough on losing coaches. The latest to get sacked is Jim Hannafin, who was fired after the Cardinals lost to Washington yesterday. Some others are also on their way out, and we'll tell you who and where they are. Here comes Irv.
Last year at this time, the San Francisco 49ers were in Fat City. Like the Bears this season, they had the best record in the league and a lock on the inside track to the Super Bowl. But this year, on the eve of the playoffs, the 49ers find themselves fighting for survival. I'll have the story on what happened to San Francisco. All that and more coming up on the NFL Today.
NFL Today is sponsored by Seiko and your authorized Seiko dealer. Seiko, man invented time, Seiko perfected it. GTE, we can do business with your business. And by the 1986 Volkswagens. It's not a car, it's a Volkswagen. And now, here's Brent Musburger.
Happy holidays, everybody, and welcome to the last Sunday of the regular season. How fast time flies. It all began just yesterday, didn't it? But as far as the playoffs are concerned, it is very simple today. 4 teams win, and they are going to go to the playoffs. Starting with the Miami Dolphins, if they handle Buffalo, and they should, they will wrap up the AFCs. Then the other 3 teams, 2 of them in the AFC would be the wild card, and that, of course, the New York Jets. If they beat Cleveland, they would host the New England Patriots if the Patriots beat the Cincinnati Bengals. If the Patriots stumble, then the Denver Broncos would come to New York. The San Francisco 49ers, to get into the playoffs and come here to beat the Giants, then they would have to beat first the Dallas Cowboys. And Irv, speaking of the Cowboys, who will quarterback Tom Landry's team today?
Well, Brent, Gary Hogaboom will be the man under center today, but I have with me as a guest today the wide receiver coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Drew Pearson, who can give us more details on that. Just what is Danny White's condition, Drew?
Well, Danny's pretty banged up. He has a shoulder problem. He has rib problems. He just had a tough time all season long. We feel fortunate that he can rest at this point, and Gary will start. You'll probably also see some Steve Pelora at quarterback.
You know, Drew, Washington Redskins fans are asking, what incentive do the Dallas Cowboys have for winning today?
Well, the main incentive is to keep the Redskins out of the playoffs. But we never play to lose. We're coming out here to play to win, and we want to beat the San Francisco 49ers. They kept us out of the Super Bowl in 1981, so this is a payback time.
Well, you have a great young wide receiver in your club, Carl Poe. Looks pretty good, and you're beginning to call him the next John Stallworth. What does this youngster have? What kind of abilities does this youngster have?
Well, Carl Poe is a very interesting young man. He's about 6'2", 175 pounds, and he's done some great things so far this year, and we're excited about him. He will start today.
He'll start today, and Drew told me earlier he'll probably catch 6 balls. Brent?
All right, Irv, thank you. I'll tell you, someone who did not like seeing that pass from Pelora to Poe is right here next to me, Harry Carson, the outstanding linebacker, going back to the Pro Bowl again for the New York Giants. Harry, how does it feel to be hosting a wild card game this year and not going out on the road?
Well, it's great this year, Brent. You know, we've gone to the playoffs a couple of times before, but every time that we go, we're on the road. Now we have an opportunity to play in our backyard in the Giants Stadium, And it's the first time in the 10 years of Giant Stadium history that we've been able to do that. And it's going to give the fans a little something to be excited about.
Jimmy, how good is this linebacker?
What happened to you against Dallas last week? Will you please tell me that?
I did my part. I didn't have anything to do with that.
Oh, 56 carries.
You know, listen, Mr. Carson made Mr. Taylor what
That's
he is.
for sure. We're just joking with him.
Jimmy,
He's great.
we got an isolated camera on Harry yesterday. Let's roll it up and take a look at some of the many duties that a linebacker has. First of all, you got to go out on pass coverage every now and then, Harry. And, of course, when the Steelers came with the run, there was the big fella stepping up in there at the point of attack and taking on the ball carrier. But then there was another duty. Who were you over talking to with time running out in the game, Harry?
Well, that lady was Betty Morgan. She's probably the biggest Giant fan around. She sits right on the first row. And we communicate sometimes, not always verbally, but she looks at me and she'll make a facial expression like, you guys aren't doing too well now, you know. So I was just wishing her a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, because in my book, she is what a Giant fan is.
That's very nice of you. I'll tell you, in everybody's mind, the most valuable player in the NFC, if you live in New York, is a running back by the name of Joe Morris. And I'll tell you, Harry, this is one of the more remarkable runs of the year. Now, watch little Joe cut back, and when he gets between the two safeties, we're going to highlight it so you can see it. The shoe is off, and here comes Shoeless Joe. Look at that sock flapping in the wind. And, Harry, what's become of Joe Morris? Why suddenly is he a running back capable of scoring 21 touchdowns? He didn't seem that dominant when he came into the league.
Well, I think Joe was like that all the time. Maybe we weren't really utilizing him, you know, the best way. Joe has really dedicated himself to playing well this year. He's probably one of the strongest guys on the team. At 5'9", this guy can bench press over 400 pounds. So, you know, if you look at him and you look at him as being 5'9", you know, it's very deceptive. And people sometimes, you know, they just take his size for being a weakness,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
it's not really a weakness. He's very strong. Excellent leg drive.
All right, Harry, it's nice to have you with us on this Sunday.
Right.
And we're going to continue with the NFL today on CBS in just a moment.
At Seiko, great technology inspires great design. Steel rods and gleaming hinges for a supple bracelet watch. Gold tone on gray tone for the definitive strap watch. A second hand on her elegant dress watch. Water resistant too, very today. One diamond and a rich two-tone setting, very tonight. Man invented time. Seiko perfected it.
My wife was having our second child, and so Anthony and I were on our own. And we went to the store, and I picked up a bargain baby shampoo, not Johnson's. I thought I was just helping out, but we used it, and Anthony got some shampoo in his eyes, and he began to cry. And I felt awful.
They may say baby shampoo, but many bargain brands sting, irritate eyes. Only Johnson says no more tears.
No more tears isn't just an ad slogan. It's very real. We're sticking with Johnson's.
The oysters we make our living on look pretty tough, but they live in a very fragile world. So when Phillips Petroleum came here to look for oil, they used aerial infrared photography to keep from disturbing places we fish for oysters. That's why I buy Phillips gasoline. Not because of what they're doing in the Delta, but because of what they're not doing.
That's performance. From Phillips Petroleum, you'll find performance in everything we do.
American-made fashion, it matters to me.
Made in the USA.
It matters to me.
And me too.
Ask for the Made in the USA label, because it does matter.
To all of us.
Made in the USA.
Now everything that says American-made style and quality says it proudly.
You better believe it matters to me.
Made in the USA.
For coaches in the NFL, this is not the season to be merry, because an awful lot of jobs are up in the air. And in Philadelphia, 26-year-old David Shula is in line to replace the ousted Marion Campbell.
I wouldn't have gone to the meeting or let any of the speculation continue if I didn't feel that that I could do the job as a head coach.
Then yesterday in St. Louis, leading 9-0, the Cardinals tried an onside kick that backfired. The Redskins recovered. They went on to win. And when the contest was over, Joe Gibbs said goodbye to Jim Hanifin. Hanifin was fired 90 minutes after the conclusion of this game. Now, joining Jimmy and me right now is one of the finest football journalists in the country, Will McDonough of the Boston Globe.
Question about it.
And Will, tell me about Hanifin in St. Louis. Were you surprised at what happened?
I was the most surprised guy in the country because the owner, Bill Bidwell, told me Friday, hey, we're going to take a long time after the season to think about this one. 90 minutes after the game said, he, see you later, you're out of town.
Jimmy, what about young Shula in Philadelphia? Can someone 26 years old go in and coach an NFL team?
You know, he doesn't even make any decisions for the Miami Dolphins was there. I can't understand this, but they're family friends, and I'll tell you one thing about this car dealer, Mr. Brayman. He can do anything he wants because he's smart.
Will, is he going to take the job?
David Shula, I think, is going to take the job, Brent. It's his to take. The owner wants him to take it. It's just a matter of working out the contract.
Now, how about down in New Orleans? What's going to happen there?
Well, I think the first thing that's going to happen there is a decision on the general manager. I think they've talked to Jim Finks, who's had a heck of a record in the National Football League, and if he takes the job, then he'll work with the owner to make a decision on a coach.
The press wants Pettibone. And I'll tell you one thing, but Mrs. Pettibone has a big job in Washington. I don't think he'll get it. By the way, Bum Phillips will have a big decision there.
Jimmy, your friend, Alex Spanos, who owns the San Diego Chargers, will he bring Don Coryell back?
Let me tell you one thing. Coryell beat the Raiders, and if there's anything Spanos wants to do is beat the Raiders twice, even though they're good friends. He will keep Coryell, plus the fact he told him to go to bed a little bit earlier, that's all.
How about down in Houston? Can Jerry Glanville hang on there, Will?
Well, what's going to happen, I think, there, Brent, and Jimmy and I talked about it, is Monday morning is going to be a press conference, and the Oilers are going to say, only 2 coaches in this staff are staying. All the coaches that come in as assistants with you, Campbell, they're gone. We're keeping Glanville and a coach named Bill Walsh. They're Bill Walsh. And say, we're going to take a month, possibly look at a college coach, and then make a decision.
Jimmy, how about Atlanta?
I'll tell you about Granville, though. If he would beat Indianapolis,
then he would be able to hang on there. Now, Eddie LeBaron, is he going to be out as general manager? Or
definitely.
What about Dan Henning?
There's no question about it. You know, I've got a great hunch about that. I think they're going to keep Henning, bring Marion Campbell down. Now, I'm telling you, this is funny.
Boy.
Well, what about Kansas City?
Well, let's get to this one first, because Henning goes into this game today thinking he's gone, so he'll be happy to hear from you, Jimmy, and so will LeBaron. But, you know, if Kansas City, Makovic's going to be back, and like Jimmy says, Coryell's going to be back, those 2 guys get another year, but I think they're both in the same situation. They have to win next year, or they'll be gone next year. This is the condition.
Well, what about these rumbles about Tom Landry maybe not coming back?
Forget about it. He's got another year contract, and he will fulfill his contract. But he is a little tired, and he will leave after that.
All right. Will, thank you for being with us today.
Brent.
And the NFL Today continues on CBS in just a moment.
Now there's something that gives a higher return on your investment than stocks, or bonds, or CDs, or treasuries. The Sylvania Super Saver Fluorescent. When you figure what this premium light saves your company in energy over an ordinary fluorescent, you're getting a return on your additional investment of 173% a year. G. No, GTE.
That spicy barbecue buffalo burger has started to send you smoke signals. Alka-Seltzer to the rescue. Alka-Seltzer relieves the acid indigestion that's hot on your trail and also quiets the tom-toms in your head. So when your stomach and head go on the warpath, send Alka-Seltzer to the rescue and bring peace to your body fast.
Alka-Seltzer to the rescue.
Surprise all those special people on your holiday gift list with stocking stuffers from True Value hardware stores. Like the Happy Holidays record or cassette tape for just $1.99. Or choose an economical Rayovac Smart Pack of heavy-duty batteries for only $2. This True Value 32 Ford panel truck bank is just $6.99. And give either the solar-powered or automatic shut-off Casio calculator for only $3.99 each from participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
A year ago at this time, the city by the bay was aglow with Super Bowl fever. Today in San Francisco, it's win or stay home for the holidays. Irv Cross is standing by live in Candlestick. They're getting ready to play. Irv, I told you 16 weeks ago, no one repeats.
Well, you're right, Brent, but When the 1985 season began, the conventional view was that the San Francisco 49ers would once again breeze through their schedule and go into a second straight Super Bowl. But instead of a breeze, the 49ers season has been filled with unexpected bumps and hard knocks. But still, if they win today, they'll make the playoffs as a wild card team. For the 49ers, television was a vast wasteland yesterday as the Redskin victory kept Washington's playoff hopes alive.
Easy touchdown.
We knew that it'll be real difficult because we've been having some ups and downs all season.
Back in training camp, hopes are high for this season. They were, after all, the team of the 80s. So much so that time was spent working on their leaping into the end zone technique.
Coming off the last season, we thought we were going to do pretty well, just pick up mainly where we left off.
At the start, the 49ers looked stronger than ever. Rookie Jerry Rice provided a needed deep threat. Roger Craig developed into a running and pass receiving star. And on defense, Michael Carter would become a punishing nose tackle. So when he knocked off the Raiders early on, San Francisco still seemed to possess the right stuff.
When we played the Raiders, we thought that we had it, had it all going for ourselves.
But surrounding the Raider game were inexplicable losses to Minnesota and New Orleans. The offense would sputter and misfire all year. Why were they so inconsistent? Injuries and motivation were used as an excuse, but there was no solution. And after the Bears game, the 49ers looked to be also Rams. But after they whipped the Rams, it was L.A. that watched its lead against San Francisco start to shrink.
It gave us some motivation, and it helped the team get back on the right track.
A snowball in Denver and a deflected pass in the Rams rematch cost San Francisco a shot at the NFC West title. But the 49ers remain philosophical.
This is a very funny game. The ball bounces a lot of different ways. You can beat a good team like we did the Rams convincingly, and then they come back and beat you. That's the breaks of the game, as they say.
The 49ers must win today or they're out of the playoffs. But as Bill Walsh said back in training camp, it's not over until it's over.
As the season progresses, if you lose more games than you did the previous year, people begin to question how good you are, when really everything's on schedule. If we went 10-6 and still got into the playoffs, we'd be just as effective. Boy, it's up for grabs if you get in those playoffs.
Give you an idea of the contrast between this season and last season. Last year, the 49ers had 3 of their offensive linemen in the Pro Bowl. This year, zilch, none.
You know, Irv, are the 49ers prepared to go the hard way? If they win this game, they've got to come all the way east to play the Giants next weekend. Then if they win that, they've got to go to Chicago and face the weather conditions. They're coming off a Super Bowl triumph. Some of them are fat cats. Are they willing to suck it up and do that?
There's no doubt in my mind, Brent, they're willing to suck it up and do that. Bill Walsh earlier said that they're exactly where they want to be right now, in a position to get into the playoffs. All they need is a win today to get there.
All right. Brent, can you imagine the Washington Redskin fans?
The running title, if Riggs doesn't play, he's only behind a little bit, and the combined title of running and passing, and he can pass Craig. So consequently, my friend Wally Payton is going to be going all out, but so are the Bears. By the way, Ferguson's the quarterback for Detroit today, not Hipple.
Let's check in on the New York Jets. A win, and they will host the wild card. To Cleveland, they can celebrate. Probably did